Hey Remarkable Lifers, this is Craig.
And this is KJ.
And today we're going to be answering some viewer questions in a way. We've gotten a couple of suggestions lately and a lot of questions.
And we've had some subscribers reach out and basically tell us, you know, you guys paint a really good, clear, what appears to be an honest kind of overview of life in Ajijic and Lakeside and all that kind of stuff. And they appreciate everything we're doing, but they are specifically asking, so what are some of the drawbacks? Right. So we really don't like to put out like negative videos, so we're trying not to make it negative.
Because the truth is that we haven't run into anything clearly that the negativity outweighs the positivity. So
right.
We're still here. We still want to be here. We're not planning to go anywhere. So,
and you know, and there are things that one person might consider a drawback that another person might consider a positive. And I'm quite sure we're going to run into a few of those between he and I.
Like so, mine is there's not a target, and other people would be like, "Yay, there's not a target."
So I'll actually one of the things that Craig has mentioned, and I think this might be an interesting way that we just play it back and forth one of the things that Craig has mentioned, Craig is a city boy. Okay, so like he really likes the energy and the hustle and bustle of big cities. Not all the time necessarily, but that is something he enjoys, and the conveniences that big cities offer. I am a small town guy. I really enjoy walking into your local restaurants or your bars or your movie theater, wherever you're going, and people know who you are. Yeah. Everywhere you go, you're running into people that you know. There's not a lot of anonymity here.
No, and that's before I say this, let me just say I love running into everybody. Here it's very different. You feel like it's kind of a chosen circumstance that you're in. We also know that we put ourselves out there on social media, and so people are going to recognize us and want to talk to us, and we actually love it. I love it. But there are times when I'm an introvert, and a city or something like that, a large hustle bustle like he described it, it's not so much the anonymity, it's the I can be alone without being alone. So it satisfies that internal need I have to kind of just cocoon, but also I don't want to feel lonely. And so that's a nice thing, but you really do get that here.
Well, but with the big city, there's also it's a difference in energy level.
Yes.
You know.
I'm also a little ADD, so I like to change my scenery like every 5 seconds.
He loves Times Square.
Yeah.
I do too, but he just Times Square, oh my gosh, it's constantly changing.
Could I just get a little apartment in the middle of it? Anyway, but yeah, so that's a negativity that some people might find, is that there's just not as many things to do when it comes to your choice of options of restaurants and all of that stuff. But we're very lucky here in that we're very, very full of options for different kinds of things. Keep you busy. You go to a different restaurant every day of the year and literally never run out of restaurants.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. Yeah, and I mean, and then on the flip side, that could also be viewed as a positive for some people. Like, I like small town. Yeah. You know. So, what's one of the things that I've mentioned that you think?
Ooh, good one.
Put him on the spot.
For you, oh boy, it's hard. Why does he do these things to me? Okay, let me think about this, because you love, well, here's the thing, he loves everything about this town. I mean, I think probably for you, the distance from family and longtime friends is hard on you. You do like that familiarity, and you do like running into people you know, and we do run into people we know, but not people we've known forever.
Yeah, there's that, but I will say that it seems like because Craig said this before, it's almost like a cruise ship mentality here, because because we've all come here, and we the people who are immigrants and foreigners, we've all come here of our own free will, and it's adventurous, and most people are just retiring for the first time, or it's their first time living outside of their country of origin, and so people make friends fast, and you can make some very deep friendships very fast.
Yeah, and we're leaning into the positives again, though. Talk about
and negatives. I love that. So it's a cruise ship mentality.
But that cruise ship also, you get to port and go back to your friends and family that you've known in your life. I think that's a real concern for everybody, as you are at a great distance. The good news is that there is an airport just 30 to 60 minutes away, depending on traffic and where you're located. It's easy to get flights.
You're right, though. I mean, being away from like family, like, I have family. We have family, and I felt like over the years I've grown very close to a number of those family members, and we have a great nephew, and we have a grandnephew, and a brand new grandniece, and
we've never met yet.
We haven't even met her yet. It will be soon, but
and they kicked us out of her hospital room when she had my great nephew,
yeah.
Well, so because we were there immediately,
yeah,
and so that's
and I do. I mean, there's that. I do. I kind of regret not being there for.
Hi Chip, hi CC,
hi Chip, hi CC. I do regret that I'm not there to watch Chip grow up.
Pictures don't always do the
try
job.
Not to cry. It's that is hard, and so that's something for a lot of y'all to consider. Is if you have family that you are close with, that's gonna be a little stingy.
Yeah, and it's something that you do get used to because you learn other ways around it. You make trips back. You know, there's video calls. There's all that stuff, but it is a challenge. So I would say that's
there is. Oh, I have a negative. Water pressure. Let's just talk about water pressure for a hot minute, or a cold minute,
or a lukewarm minute,
or a really hot minute, and then followed by a very cold minute,
or absolutely nothing minute.
Yeah. So, water pressure here is a thing. Apparently, it's not just us in our house because we talked to a lot of people about this. Yeah, if you have a thing about, you absolutely positively have to have that steaming hot shower with great water pressure and all that kind of stuff.
No, he's saying absolutely not. Now let me just refresh your memory here, KJ. There are different kinds of houses and different types of systems that are put in people's houses.
No, that is correct.
And some of them are better than others.
Oh, absolutely.
If for some reason the water goes out, let's say there's a repair that's done or something like that, you could be without water for a little bit. So that's going to affect everyone equally. It also is, if you're up on the mountain versus down in the town, there's a pressure difference. Getting the water up there is harder, so it doesn't matter what system you have. There are blue light, type of infrared, and all kinds of systems they have here, filtration things for your water, so that's not really a concern. People have garrafones of water delivered, which are the big bottles. Or you can buy those anywhere. So if you don't want to drink the local water, most people do actually drink from those.
You're talking about drinking water.
Yes.
I'm talking.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
My train of thought does have a caboose. Anyway.
It just goes all over the place before you see the caboose.
It's more of a go-kart. Anyway, so now I forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about garrafones of water.
No, anyway. So the water systems and things in your houses are... There are variations, but the main system here is you have an aljibe, which is like a cistern that the water pumps into your house from the city. You have a tinaco that's on your roof that is gravity fed that makes your water pressure. So it all hits the first one, goes to the second one, and then drops back down into your house. If one gets low, your water pressure's low. If your hot water heater can't keep up with you, if you don't have a brand new one or a higher capacity one, sometimes you don't get a long hot shower. And there are also issues with just some houses, the way they're built, there's not as many codes and your pipes aren't as big, and you're never ever going to get that intense shower pressure. Yeah, and we miss it.
There was the caboose.
Yeah. Choo.
So if you are one of those people who absolutely have to have the big, high pressure, very hot all the time, you're going to have to invest in that. And there's, for an example, just one last example of that, we have somebody that got a massive jet tub, jacuzzi tub in their house. Beautiful home, beautiful thing, and they don't have enough water to fill it and heat it. It happens.
It would require another heating system and things like that. So there's considerations. You need to check it out if you're buying or renting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next? I would say for me, it would be, availability of things is a little bit of a challenge. Here, let's back up. So when we first got here, there is a negativity or a negative that is kind of palpable. You first get here and you don't really understand how anything works. And so you really do feel isolated and you don't speak the language. And it's really helpful to get involved before you get here with the communities online, to visit here and to meet people and to have that network kind of built. I would say that's really important because when you get here and you don't have that network built, you're figuring it out for yourself. And if you don't speak Spanish well, you're going to run into that as a challenge. And it is isolating for a little while. Until you get, but the community here is excellent. Again, back to the positive. That they
jump in and help. They jump in, they help and all that kind of stuff. But even with everyone's help and all of that attention and all that stuff to help the newcomer, you do still feel isolated.
Acclimation is isolating. And you cocoon, you cling to each other, and you watch a lot of TV together for the first few days. And then you start getting out and about and, getting yourself acclimated to the community. But no matter what, this is a strange town. It's just like any other town in any other country. You don't know where everything is, and so you don't even know that there's a store for that or that there's a service for that, and you have to learn that. So it can take a little while. And the next one there would then be language. Not knowing the language, sticking to only the places that cater to the foreigners can also be isolating and make your world very small.
Yes.
And it's tempting.
It is. It's easy to fall into what you know.
Yeah.
It's real easy to just constantly fall back into the habits of what you know.
Yeah.
Because it's safe. And because of Lake Chapala having such a large foreigner population, there are things that are just purely English. So it is easy to fall in. There are grocery stores here that carry everything that you would want from the U.S. or Canada or whatever, but you're going to live in that box, that little bitty bubble, and it becomes even more isolating. So
and I would add to that kind of a step off of that is traveling around locally here. Traveling in Mexico is very different. You don't have as intense of a internet or interstate system.
Yeah.
And so you're dealing with local highways and small kind of byways. And a lot of the reasons they say don't travel at Mexico at night is not only for safety of, security type safety. It's for, you're going to hit a cow.
Yeah. Cow, horse.
Or you're going to go off a cliff.
Yeah, because the roads on the mountains and stuff here, they don't have guardrails like they do in a lot of places in the U.S. And livestock, a lot of it's open range. So, you turn around a corner on a mountain and there might be a cow standing in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Repairs to roads sometimes are delayed. There are sometimes various different surfaces on roads because they fix one part with a different type of surface.
Yeah.
There can be holes that come up because of the weather. You've got monsoon season type of thing, and then you've got intense sun. And so it's damaging to the roadways. We have the cobblestones. It's difficult to walk. There's various reasons for it, but it's not just as easy to hop in your car and go take a weekend trip. You got to plan it, and you need to make sure of security and or do you know where you're going,
and timing.
Or are you going to take a bus?
Yeah.
Or are you going to take, and how do you do that? So those are the kind of things you do have to do a lot more research to go down to Matsuila for the weekend, or down to, over, if you want to go to Mexico City, which is only about 5 or 6 hours.
And toll roads. You got to make sure that you've got either a toll road pass and the right ones, or
a ton of change and small bills.
Yeah, to pay the tolls and stuff. And those are going to be the better roads that you're probably going to want to travel on.
Yeah,
So.
And I've known people that have traveled through Mexico from, maybe the top of Mexico down to where we're at, and they're like, it's like $75 in U.S. dollars in tolls along the way.
Yeah.
Because it's like 3 for this one, 5 for this one, 8 for this one. And you have to do the translation and everything. I'm just telling you U.S. dollars. But it's, it's not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other draw.
One more for you, one more for me.
I'm going to have to say the dust.
Okay.
So during the dry season, which we are in the thick of right now, and hopefully it'll be...
Thick being the dust.
Yeah, it's the thick of the dust. I mean, think pancake makeup.
Of course, I get something in my eye right as you say that. I don't know if that's a suggestion.
Yeah, when it's dry season here, it is dry, and there's so much dirt and dust everywhere. Like the cars and the buses come down our street and it's literally a cloud. It looks like Pigpen just ran by. I mean, there's a cloud of dust that's just coming and just coats everything.
The wind picked up last night and we both were walking from an event last night and we were both like,
you
gotta close your eyes.
You're like wiping the dirt out of your eyes.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it gets into your house no matter how much, and you can't close it up because it's hot right now.
Oh, I got another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Bobos.
The Bobos.
The Bobos. So we were at an event last night. The Bobos are like these little bitty gnat-like things. Craig also coined the term tornado bugs.
I've heard it before. I didn't coin it.
Okay. Yeah. But like literally as it's getting dusk and nighttime and lights start coming on, they're attracted to lights. They are really crazy at like sunset. And they are everywhere. So we're at this event last night, and it's an outdoor thing, and we're sitting at a table, and there's this one guy, and the way the light was coming out, the shaft of light coming out of this overhead light, it just shone on his head, and the bugs were just like swirling
all around
his head.
He just kept getting lower
and lower.
And they kept coming down. So every once in a while we'd swat him and give him a moment.
But you end up with them in your nose, your ears, your eyes, your mouth. You just accept it.
And they're so small that you're like, didn't I just get that in my mouth? Oh,
yeah.
No.
You don't know if it's dirt or if it was a bug.
So it happens. They're not harmful in any way. Once in a while there'll be a lot of them, but it's nothing bad. But yeah, they get on your nerves.
Yeah, the Bobos.
I think also for me is the I don't know. I like so many things here. It's really hard to call out the negativity. I think I'm going to have to say, really on your behalf, our viewers, it's the differences in food. You do have to learn where to buy the things you want and where you can get it at, because it's not going to function the same way. You can go to Walmart and get everything you need, but they may not have everything in stock.
Oh, and you have to learn how to get different brands.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have different brands. They have American brands. They have Canadian brands. But most of what they carry is local brands. And you're going to need to then learn that.
Yeah.
And it takes a minute. But some of them I like better.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There's actually a lot of things here that I think are better than their counterpart, U.S. or Canadian. Yeah.
I would also say that I don't like how difficult it is to get mail here. You cannot just get mail here. That's a random one, but
yeah, that is.
Mail service is basically a private service, and even the electric bills come. They have an employee walk around and put them directly in your door or mailbox.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that anymore.
I think maybe that went to electronic.
Yeah.
But I've seen them. I've seen them as recently as like a week or two ago doing it.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'd heard they weren't, but I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, it's probably coming, but we don't even have a mailbox because it wasn't attached, and we found that we don't get anything. We tested it with a Christmas card. We've told this story before. We've tested it with a Christmas card, and somebody sent us a Christmas card to our address, and we received it in March, and the mailman walked up to our front gate and threw it as hard as he could, and it slid in our front door, and we found it in the middle of our living room.
In March.
In March.
Yeah.
And so you can't really rely on that. They do have mail services. There's all the big brands of package delivery and those types of things, but you're going to need to plan for that.
Yeah, if you really need to get mail all the time for some reason, I don't know why, but there are little shops like iShop, and you can have a mailbox there, and they'll bring all the U.S. mail down, and you can go check your mailbox and do all that sort of stuff if that's what you need. But
the good news is you also don't get 400 pieces of junk mail every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I do not miss mail whatsoever at all. 100%. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't miss it.
I don't either. In fact, it's a little like, well, if I miss something, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And in the digital age, you can do that if you're savvy with that.
So. Right.
Anything else before we go? Because that was an awful lot.
I don't really think so. I mean, I can't think. I'm sorry to disappoint any of our subscribers when they've asked this question, but it's not like I would say there's a lot of adverse or bad things. I mean, there are little bitty annoyances, like Davos, but
nothing that just that dissatisfies me so much that I am just like mad about.
No, absolutely. So
I also realize it's a different place, a different country, a different climate, a different culture, a different way of life.
Yeah.
And so things are just going to be different. And if you don't like different, you're going to have to get used to it. That might be a negative for you.
That if you don't, if you struggle with that, it's going to be a struggle.
So I'll tell you what, we have not covered everything, of course. We're just giving you the things that came up off the top of our head. So if you follow us on YouTube and Facebook, or on YouTube, follow us on Facebook also, because we have a group there and we try to make it more of a community, and we'll do a little supplement post at some point in the next week of additional things we've thought about or things that you have suggested in the comments down below.
Yes.
So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for letting us come into your phone, your living room, wherever you're watching us, and we're gonna go now because we got stuff to do.
So go find your truly remarkable life.
Thanks for being here. Have a great day.
Bye.
Every change has a reason.